So thinking bigger. Well, I think it first starts with writing something down. I mean, to bring something to life, it's again, and we've talked about what's fooey and what's this and yada da 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 energy. I know a lot of people are like, y'all are wild and crazy, whatever. Cool, I'll be wild and crazy and rich.
Right, proof in the pudding, baby.
Right, writing things down. I have a really hard time with writing things down because honestly, when you write it down, it makes it real. And when you have to look at that every day and you realize that you're not necessarily taking steps to do that, you start to feel some type of way about yourself. So writing things down, I think, is the first step. But maybe even before that is thinking about what you want. Think about where you're at and what you want. Because that looks different for everybody. I mean, fact and point, some people, they're out for a specific relationship. They're out for a job title. They're out for validation from... People are out for different things. They're desiring different things. But to give yourself the space to think, well, I think you might need to understand where you're at right now, and then give some space to thinking about where you would be satisfied or where you would be happy if you saw yourself from the third person being.
Yeah, man. All of that starts with the self-awareness, because if somebody's uninformed about their own desires, aspirations, goals, dreams, how can they then sit down and write them down? Because there is a process to it. And somebody can have a thought, and then before they even get a chance to sit down, the thing happens. But to your point, how does one kind of build that house up? And so you start by having some self-awareness, right? So your great qualities, your qualities you hope to work on, build, how your relationships are looking, what you desire professionally. I can't remember the name of what this process might be called, or this activity, this exercise. But I remember several years ago, I had a friend of mine, her name's Basha. And she was kind of dealing with a lot in life. And so it was something that I think I learned when I was doing the Cutco thing at one of our seminars. But basically it was like you take a piece of paper and then you write down the main categories of your life. So you have basically family and friends, so relationships. And then you have intellect, you have money, you have professional, you have basically like hobbies or interest, you have physical, emotional, and it's like these different big categories. And then you give yourself a score on those categories. And so then you can kind of take an assessment of, you can do 1 to 10, you can do 1, 3, 5, whatever. But you can then look back and ask yourself, okay, where am I excelling, doing well? Where am I dropping the ball potentially? What deserves more attention? And so I just throw that out there in case somebody's like, well, I don't know how to set my goals, whatever. So if you haven't done something like that and you're lacking clarity, begin there. Once you get the clarity, you can begin to lay out these goals. Now, once you lay out these goals, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to start moving towards them with some type of action, as you like to say, with the radical action, right?
Messy, radical action.
You know what I'm saying? Or you don't. So cool, you got a choice right there. Let's assume you're going to go down the action route. Lovely. So now we're taking action. So now, how fast does this thing come about? And how is that related to your action? Because that is actually the hack that a buddy of mine, Eddie Malouf, first shared with me back at UGA. And he was reading this book, or he was doing something through like the Grant Cardone series, but that was the first time I heard about like the 10X factor or the 10X event. And so I remember him sharing with me this idea of any goal or aspiration you have, 10X what you expect the outcome to be. Because for you to get there, it requires that your effort be 10X what it was from that original goal. And at the end of the day, it's not about you hitting the 10X or not, obviously, but if you put in that amount of effort that would be required for you to achieve that 10X, you should very easily hit the goal that you originally put down, right? And so that was part of a big shift in mindset for me, and even coming into this year, we had our kickoff meeting, and I wrote down how much I wanted to make this year. And then I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, fuck it, nigga, times 10. And then I was like, ooh, that's a bigger number, And so with that, it required me to think a little bit differently about how I was going to get to that outcome. And then it's like you could take that same philosophy and just start applying it to different areas of life. Not everything is a quantity that you can just add a zero to necessarily, but that idea of, okay, like something I've been in mind is really good about you is when you're doing outreaches or just like the massive effort. You know, you're doing it last year, did this year, like, okay, I was trying to figure something out, trying to network better, so I hit up 500 people on LinkedIn. And I'd be like, God damn, boy, fuck. You know, and just like where somebody like myself, if I reach out to 5 people, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm doing so much networking, you know, and when somebody starts to figure out what areas of their life they want to really grow massively, not just improve, right, but grow massively, that's where they kind of start to apply these frameworks of how do you look at it. Like, you know, even we made a joke the other day, you just had a contract come in from, you know, I don't want to divulge the details if you don't want to, but a nice little contract came in, and when you updated us about it in the group, I was just like, pocket change. You know what I mean? Just because I saw this an opportunity to remind us, our unit, that like, look, we got big, big goals. So if it ain't the billions and the trillions, we talking pocket change, right?
Yeah, we're talking not where it's not where we want to be. It's not where we need to be. It's something that has to be framed as this is a stepping stone. This is not the end goal. If that is the end, if the contract that came through is the end goal, then I need to go ahead and just shrivel my world up a little bit, you know, and go sit in the corner, because that's not the life I want to live. That is a step along the journey.